Hi, welcome to 1,000 Hours in Scripture. My name is Dana, and this is Day 7. Thanks for joining us again. I hope you guys are having a wonderful first week to the new year, and if you're new to the channel, then welcome. I hope that you will find this content edifying and that you will join us as we study through Scripture for 1,000 hours this year. Let's go ahead and we'll just jump right on into it. I did want to start with a notation, so I did include some links, and I'll probably continue to try to include links to some of the resources that I've been using. And I wanted to make sure everybody knew I do not have any affiliate links, and I get no monetary compensation for sharing these. I'm simply sharing them because I find these resources to be super helpful, and I would like to share them with you guys as well. So I did also want to point out, if you would like my resource for my tracker, I'm happy to share that too. I haven't yet, just because I don't know if anybody wants it. But if you're interested in that, please just drop a comment and I would be happy to link that and provide it to anybody else who would find it useful. So, all right, let's go ahead and start by looking at our tracker for the week. So I'm going to put up a little screenshot again here, and we can just kind of go through it. I'm going to start, though, with a high-level overview. So just to recap, we're trying to spend 164 minutes, which is about 2 hours and 45 minutes a day, in the study of Scripture. I'm not going to go through every single day, but you can see that for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I was able to hit my goal and actually even exceeded a little bit each of those days. Now, when you look at the month goal, I'm still a little bit behind. So far this month, I should have spent 984 minutes in the study of Scripture, and I'm currently at 803. So still pretty behind, but I am making up a little bit of ground every single day. So, and I know that this is in minutes, and it's kind of maybe conceptually hard to think about how much time that is, but I don't know, it's just the way I like to see it. So I guess you guys can math it out if you want into hours. So that's high level. So again, still behind, but catching up slowly. So hopefully that trend will continue as we go through the rest of the year. Looking at some specific categories, though, let's go ahead and start with corporate worship. Obviously, we've had a Sunday now, so I now have some corporate worship logged. This past Sunday, we spent about 2.5 hours at church. It was a communion Sunday for us, and on those Sundays, we have Sunday school, morning church, communion, and then we follow it with a luncheon. And then we do not have evening church. So that 150 minutes or 2.5 hours, that's notating Sunday school and morning worship. So our Sunday morning worship on a communion Sunday is a little bit longer just because of communion. So that's obviously our corporate worship. If we move over to family worship, this is definitely a struggle category for us so far. We are 1 week into the year and still struggling to get back onto our routine of family worship. The holidays just really threw us off. We had a lot of family in, we had a lot of late nights. Our kids are on a pretty strict routine that they like to be on. So bedtimes were all messed up. It was just kind of chaotic. And unfortunately, we just have not gotten back on track yet. So please do not follow our example here. Family worship is so important. And we are trying very hard to get back to that on a nightly basis. I mentioned before, I think our family worship is usually a short devotional, reading of scripture, prayer. Sometimes we'll sing hymns depending on how late it is. So family worship doesn't have to be some big ordeal, but it needs to be something. So do not be like me right now in our family. Please do your family worship. We are kind of through the chaos now. Everybody's back into their school routine. We're back into work routines. So, Christmas decor is packed up and ready to be put away for the year. So hopefully we can get back to that this evening and be consistent with it. Now, I will point out that sometimes, just due to necessity of work hours and schedules, sometimes you will see that maybe I don't do family worship and my husband will do it with the kids on his own. That's obviously not preferred either, but sometimes that's just how it shakes out, that either I'm not here that evening or maybe he's working and I have to do it. So every now and then you're still going to see no time logged. And that's probably just because one parent is doing it while the other one is, tied up with something else. So we try to keep that to be minimal, but it does happen. So over to personal prayer next. So I did want to call something out on the personal prayer. It's been on my mind all week because I keep looking at these numbers and I'm just like, ugh, yikes. These aren't where I'd like them to be. And more so, it's kind of indicative of someone who's not praying, and that's not a great thing. But I did want to kind of share with you guys that when I'm logging prayer on this tracker, I am referring to times that I'm sitting down with my prayer notebook very purposefully, kind of on my own to spend time in prayer. When you see a 0, it doesn't mean I have literally not prayed the entire day. It just means I have not spent that dedicated time. I have actually been working on being a more prayerful person for several years now. There's a reason why, and someday maybe I'll share it. It's a funny one. But for the sake of time, I'll skip it today. But I've been working on that for some time, so I've gotten in the habit where I don't wait just for my evening prayer. I'm praying all day long. As soon as it pops in my head, I'm going to pray about it. It might be a sentence, maybe 2 sentences. So I am praying throughout the day, but I'm not logging that because I'm not going to sit there washing dishes, have a prayer pop in my mind, and then be like, oh, I got to go log it. Again, we're not looking for that level of kind of like legalistic minutia here. So I'm not logging that. So, have confidence. I am praying throughout the day. When you see those zeros there, it's not an absence of prayer. It is indicating that I did not have that set aside time in my prayer. So, but overall, you can see I'm trying to get about 10 to 15 minutes in a day right now. That's less than I would really like. There have been times, last year that I was really in prayer quite a bit. And I was probably closer to easily 20 or 30 minutes a day. And really, it makes such a difference in your life to be spending that time in prayer. And I really hope to get back to that very soon. Again, once we get through the chaos of the new year and all that, hopefully that'll settle down and I can get back to that. Okay, looking at our next category of Bible study, there's just nothing there. There's not going to be anything there because I only have that one Bible study I'm going to, and I'm honestly not even sure when it is. It might be next week. It might be next Monday. So you might see some stuff pop in there as I prepare for that and as I attend that. But this category by far, it's not going to have a lot in it, guys. I'm just not able to attend a lot of Bible studies currently, so... The next category is my Bible reading, so I have been able to get all of my 10 chapters in every single day so far. Some days it's really quick, like you can see yesterday, it only took me about 30 minutes to read those 10 chapters. There were quite a few that were pretty short. I am also a pretty fast reader, so... but that went pretty quickly. So I did finish my first book of the year, so I finished reading 1 Thessalonians for the first time. I don't remember exactly, I think I'm going to end up reading it 4 or 5 times over the course of the year. I have to go back and count it. So 1 Thessalonians, done for the first time. Jumping over to casual reading, so still in Spurgeon's book. So I'm going to get it over here. So I'm still reading out of Spurgeon's Morning and Evening. And I did figure out how to fix the mirroring on my video so it shows up correctly. Again, love this book, and I did want to share something out of it. It was very encouraging to me. Maybe it will be encouraging to somebody else. This was from yesterday's evening devotional. So yesterday's morning devotional was very much about casting our cares on the Lord and remembering that, He cares for the sparrow. He cares for the tiniest flower and blade of grass. Of course, He cares for us. The evening devotional was of a similar vein, but it was a little bit more geared towards experiencing trials and tribulations and the worries that we experience going through those times. And I don't know, maybe it was just applicable to me because of the season of life we are in, but it was very comforting to me, so I wanted to share some of it. So it's not the first sentence, but one of the first sentences that he opens the devotional with states, "Cheerfully submit to the discipline of the Lord and carefully endeavor to profit by it." I don't know about you guys, but I do not frequently cheerfully submit to the discipline of the Lord. I think a lot of us probably struggle with that, but honestly, it can be hard in times of trial and when things are rough. It's just hard. It's hard to be cheerful and remember that the Lord has us in his hands, right? Which takes me down to the next paragraph I wanted to read. It's closer to the end of it. Spurgeon states, "My heart languishes. My faith is weak. My devotion is cold. All these are reasons why his healing hand should be laid upon me. His hand can cool the heat of my burning brow and quiet the tumult of my trembling heart. That glorious hand which made the world can renew my mind. The tireless hand which bears the earth's huge pillars up can sustain my spirit. The loving hand which encloses all the saints can cherish me. The mighty hand which defeats the enemy can subdue my sins. Jesus' hands were pierced for my redemption." And honestly, guys, that just was really, like, what a calming reminder, you know? And I think it's easy for me to forget, so it's probably easy for others to forget that even when you're in your darkest time, his hand has us. And how great is his hand? And yet, you know, sometimes it's hard to remember that we are in it. So I wanted to share that. Like I said, it was just encouraging to me. So hopefully it is encouraging to somebody else as well. So that was my casual reading. I'm continuing on in that book. Again, it only takes a few minutes a day, which you can see there. Now, one of the big changes for the week, sermon audio. So I really cranked up sermon audio this week and have been listening to a bunch of sermons. And I'm actually going to share what I've been listening to here in just a minute. But you can see I listened to one sermon on Saturday, one on Sunday, and I've actually listened to 2 sermons on Monday and Tuesday. And I'm sorry, I know I've got my tracker up here, but I also have my paper copy here. That's why I keep looking down. So that's a total of 6 sermons so far this week. So lots of time in sermon audio. Honestly, the reason I've been in it so much is because it's really easy to listen to while I'm doing other things. So like when I'm driving in the car with the kids, turn on sermon audio. Putting up Christmas decorations, turn on sermon audio. I think I even listened to it while getting ready for bed the other night. You know, wash your hair, listen to a sermon. So it's just very easy to do. So again, it's such a great resource. Use it if you haven't looked at it yet. Go look at it. You can just find so much good stuff on there. What I'm listening to right now, I did think I would share it. It is a sermon series on the book of Revelation. So it's actually a sermon series I have heard before. I think it was originally preached back in maybe 2014. I don't remember the exact dates. I think it was around that time though, 2012, 2014. And it was given, that sermon series was given by Pastor Larry E. Ball. And it's just a really good sermon series. Revelation is by far one of the books that I'm weakest in. And I think that's probably a pretty common thing. I think a lot of us are not very confident in our understanding of Revelation, so I just felt like going through it again and hearing it again. It's been at least a good 10 years probably since I've heard it, so time to be refreshed. I do actually have the book that goes with it. They don't literally go with it, but he wrote a book on the book of Revelation titled Blessed is He Who Reads, and you know, it does complement the sermons, obviously. It's a lot of the same content. So this book is really good. I think after I finish the sermon series, it's a total of 68 sermons, I think. So once I get through that, I'm probably going to go ahead and read the book again. Or if I get some time to just read it casually, then I'll do that too. So that's what I'm listening to, though, in sermon audio. So 6 sermons in, 62 to go. And then I'll know a lot more about Revelation. So I think that covers the tracker. So you can see we're making progress. We are not yet, quote unquote, on track yet for the year, but not concerned about it. Again, if you're new to the channel, this is not about, you know, being super legalistic and, oh my gosh, I'm behind one day, so I have to hurry up and catch up the next. It's just an encouragement to push ourselves to be in the study of Scripture and to, you know, hold ourselves accountable that we are really dedicating our time and spending it in a way that's glorifying to God. So again, if you're new, I hope you'll join us. It's not too late. And if you're coming back from some of our previous videos, then thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. I know we've got a few views on some of our other videos, and that was exciting, and hopefully other people will be edified and encouraged and find some, you know, something good out of this content that I'm trying to make. So, so I think that wraps us up. So I hope that everybody, again, is having a fantastic week this first week of the new year. And just remember that whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God. See you next time.